So as always, we'll start the practice just finding a nice centering breath, just bringing ourselves to be fully present with the practice. So find a nice comfortable seat in your chair with the feet on the ground, knees over the ankles and shoulders over the hips. Roll the shoulders up and back and then just relax them down. Keep extending the crown of the head up towards the ceiling and close your eyes. So as we become centered, one of the best tools to center ourselves is to become the witness of our own breath. So with the eyes closed, breathing in and out through the nose, just begin to notice how the breath feels in your body. So notice perhaps whether it's choppy, maybe it's nice and smooth, and that's great. But if you feel that it's a little choppy or shallow, see if you can bring the breath deep into the lowest lobes of the lungs, down right into the belly, and then move it up into the low ribs and up into the top of the chest. Perhaps noticing a natural pause at the top of the breath, and then letting the breath go from the top down. It's much like filling a balloon up. As you blow into the balloon, it fills up from the bottom up, and as you let the air out, the air leaves from the top down. And as the breath completely leaves, see if you can draw your navel in just a little bit to give a little extra squeeze to get rid of all the toxins and the carbon dioxide. Most of us, when we're stressed or upset, rushed, we tend to breathe in a very shallow way. So this nice deep belly breath is soothing and calming. And it helps to quiet our minds, which can be so busy these days. So as you rest your awareness on your breath, just let the other thoughts that might drift in, just let them move past. And keep all your awareness on the breath. One more nice deep breath in. And then sigh it out through your mouth. Let all the tension go. And we'll begin our movements today, just warming up all the parts of the body, moving the spine in all of its directions. So we're going to begin by inhaling the arms up overhead and taking the left hand, wrapping it around the right wrist. Reach nice and tall, draw the belly in, soften the shoulders away from the ears, and then take a little lean to your left. A nice stretch through the right intercostal muscles here. Even a little tiny touch of a hip flexor. This hip flexor right here might feel a little stretch as you move into this movement. Inhale up and then change sides. Take a little lean to the right. Just reaching the fingertips to the wall on the right. And then coming back up and releasing the arms down. Take the right hand on the left thigh and the left hand behind the left hip. Find length in the spine, and on your exhale, take a twist. So as you take a twist, keep the navel drawn slightly in, and the chin can stay centered right in the center of the chest, or if your neck is ready for the movement, you can just look over that left shoulder. Couple of breaths in this twist, just noticing where the stiffness or tightness might be. And then bringing yourself through center and coming to the other side. Nice breath in and out. And then coming back to center. We'll bring our hands right to our thighs. On an inhale, lean slightly forward and lift the heart, draw the shoulders back. And on the exhale, tuck the chin round the upper back as you straighten the arms. So we're undulating the spine, bringing a nice little cat-cow movement, as we call it, into the spine, encouraging the flow of spinal fluid. And then coming to stillness here, still sitting nice and tall. Bring your feet a little wider apart, maybe as wide as the legs of the chair. And we'll just begin to start warming up those hips. So we're going to do big circles with our torso. About 5 or 6 circles in one direction. And then moving in the other direction. then coming to stillness, sitting nice and tall, walking your feet back so that they're right in line with these little hip points in the front of your body. Take your left leg up and hug the knee into your chest, and then let it down. So we're just gonna begin to warm up the hip now as we hug the knee in, and then let it down. One more squeeze. We're gonna hold on this squeeze. A nice little squeeze, a nice lengthener in the low back. You might feel a nice lengthening happening in the low back around the left glutes, the buttocks on the left side. And then flex the foot and bring the ankle to the thigh. Now we're all going to look a little different in this posture. If you have really tight hips, you might look more like this. So wherever the leg happens to fall, that's fine. Keep the foot flexed on top and let the spine stay nice and long. So resting your hands on your shin, lifting your heart, getting nice and long in the spine. If it's available to you, just take a little lean forward. So it might be a micro move. We want to keep the spine long though, so try not to round. You want to keep nice and tall as the heart reaches forward and the spine stays long and straight. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. So this might be felt most intently in the outer left hip. I like to imagine that my hip is a balloon, and as I breathe in, I fill that balloon with space, with breath. And then as I exhale, that breath leaves, the muscles soften, everything kind of relaxes, and perhaps a little more movement forward, maybe not. But depending upon how stiff or tight you are through the hips, that's going to limit your movement, and that's okay. Yoga slowly over time helps us open up, rebalance the body. But we have to be patient. Can't force it. When we force it, we usually cause injury. So on your next inhale, come up. And then we're simply going to take our knee and we're going to bring the knee up and down. Just a little bit of pumping here, gently moving up and down. About 5 times. And then release that foot and bring it down. We'll do the other side. So we'll start with a little hug with our right leg into our chest. Nice stretch through the low back, right buttocks, and let that foot come down. Bring it back up, give it a nice squeeze, and then bring it down. One more squeeze and hold, so keep it in there. And then flex that foot, bring that ankle on to your thigh. Keeping that foot flexed, and just gently guiding the leg down. Just let it kind of fall down towards the floor as much as you can. Again, you might be up here on this side, maybe you were lower on the other. So this is where we explore where we're tight. We're often tighter on one side than the other. So bringing the hands onto the shin, nice tall spine. Take a nice breath in, and on your exhale, take a little lean. You're going to just deepen that stretch. You'll feel it. You don't want any pain though. So we never want to move towards pain in yoga. It can certainly feel a little challenging, maybe a little tight, a little sore, but never pain. So if you feel pain, just back out a little bit. So a few breaths here, filling that right hip this time with that space as if it's a balloon, creating that space and then letting it all go, letting the muscles relax. Our muscles have memory, you know, and sometimes they forget how to relax. So they remember how to be tense if we tense them up all the time, and then they forget how to relax. So yoga helps us to bring our awareness to those places, and our breath helps us to relax the muscles. And then coming back up to vertical, we're just simply going to take hold of the knee. We're going to bring the knee up and down, just moving it. So our hip joint is a ball and socket, so it has a great range of motion when it's healthy. But because we sit so much in our lives these days, especially as we get older, a lot of us sit more than we used to, our hip flexors get very, very tight. And so that limits our mobility. It can even change the way we walk, the way our gait presents itself. So it's really good to keep these muscles healthy, limber, and strong. So we're going to work on a little bit of strength here in the muscles, and we're going to do some, I suppose you could call them squats. We're going to come up off the chair and sit down, and we're going to go for a round of 20. And you can do it in a couple of ways. First, you want to keep your feet underneath your knees, maybe a little bit behind. You want to feel really stable. You don't want any pain in your knees when we do this. And you can keep your arms down by your sides and help with a little momentum to stand up, or you can hold on opposite hand to opposite shoulder. It makes it a little bit more challenging. Draw the belly in and keep the spine nice and long. So we're going to stand up and sit down 20 times. And if you get tired along the way, just take a break, just sit down, rest, and pick it up again if and when you are ready. And over time, you'll just get stronger. So here we go. We're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep going. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Have a little seat, rest your hands on your lap, take a nice breath in through the nose, sigh it out through the mouth. That's a workout.